Hey guys, I've got another game that we're going to look at here. This is a 3-minute blitz game on chess.com. Let's check it out and see what happens. So I play the move e4. My opponent plays the move e5. I develop my knight to f3. My opponent develops their knight to c6. And this is where I play the Ponziani, an opening that I'm really working on studying to find some really good lines in it. My opponent then plays the move d6, and we know with the Ponziani, our goal is to attack the center, so I push my pawn out to d4 and start trying to gain control of the center. My opponent then makes a little bit of an inaccuracy here, and they go ahead and try to pin my knight to my queen, but I decide to ask them the question, what are they trying to do here? Playing the move pawn to h3, and so they decide to take the knight off, and I take back with my queen. They then develop their queen to d7, which does allow me to kick the knight and move it away, and then create a really strong pawn chain here. But I had the idea of I want to get my queen back here and get it back on this diagonal that's pointing towards the king. My opponent then plays the move bishop to e7, and now I go ahead and play the move, bishop to b5, pinning the knight to the queen. So my opponent pushes their a pawn to attack my bishop, and I just go ahead and drop it back to keep this pin active. And this is where my opponent makes a blunder, and that's because their knight is pinned to the king, so it can no longer move. And I can just push this pawn here, which I do in the game, and this is a fork, because my opponent can't take back, because then I can take back with either the queen or the pawn. And no matter what, my opponent will be losing a piece. So my opponent plays the move queen to f6, stepping out of the way, but I can just now grab this free knight. And so my opponent develops their knight over to h6, trying to get their king castled to safety, but unfortunately for them, what that allows is the move pawn takes pawn on b7, opening up a discovered attack on their king. And this king only has one square it can go to, because if the king goes to d8, then it's getting checkmated with a promotion to either a rook, which would just be disgusting, or a queen. The king is cut off by this bishop here, put in check here, nothing can block it. So the king would have to go over to f8, and I would be able to promote a queen. The only move is to block the bishop. And I should go on to win the game here, up a rook, and I have another queen on the board. I would probably play something like bishop takes knight, so then that way my opponent's down to fewer pieces. And if they blunder and take with the queen, then that's checkmate. So I'm forcing them to really mess up their pawn structure here. So the Ponziani has a lot of opening traps like this. This light square diagonal is really opening up and weak towards the king in the Ponziani. You've got your queen looking here. You can get your bishop on this square. And when they develop their knight to the c6 square, you can really go after and attack it. So obviously my opponent didn't play perfect in this game. I didn't play perfect either, but the traps are fun. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to check out some other videos on the channel. I feature a lot of the Ponziani opening and Caro-Kann defense. So trying to get better at those two openings. And maybe give this video a like, leave some comments on how to keep getting better at chess so we can all keep getting better together. And I hope you have a great day.